it's about that time. It's the Premier League, it's back, and we're doing Fantasy League. As you can see, I'm setting up my team from the beginning. I haven't registered and everything. I saw many of you doing Fantasy League in June. Come on, guys, let's get a life. But we are up to it now. The deadline is today, so I started doing it actually today. The first thing I did was hit auto pick to see what they give me. They give me a whole bunch of nonsense. The actual solid picks would be the two Arsenal defenders and Allison maybe as keeper, and Raya, of course, great option. So Arsenal is a good start, especially for the first game, but I'm not sure about the second game against Villa away. It's going to be a very tight game, and they're most likely to concede, in my opinion. But I also think Isaac is a great option, but the rest of them I'm not so sure. Maybe Trippier as well. Trippier, especially for the first two games that Newcastle have, first 2-3 games actually, they're looking strong. So maybe those Newcastle picks are okay. But then I reset everything and let's discuss my considerations. Now let's look at keepers and actually sorted by the most selected. David Raya is first. I think that's okay. I don't think you need two extremely expensive keepers. I would go with one expensive keeper and maybe one that's not so expensive. That's just for me. But Raya is okay. It's a fair pick. Did I end up going for him though? I don't know. I don't think so. My keeper will definitely be Nick Pope. Nick Pope gets straight into my team, and Newcastle's first game is against Southampton. I'm looking good, and their first two games actually are not too bad. So Nick Pope into my keeper slot immediately. That's it for my main goalkeeping choice. Now I'm looking for my main defensive choice. These defenders are pretty expensive. If you ask me, Ben White is really expensive. What the hell? Trent, obviously, we know what he gives you, but come on. The problem with defenders that are that expensive is that if they do concede, you might, lose a lot of points because you're only banking on the fact that they will either give you a goal or an assist, especially with Trent. But the moment Liverpool concedes and if it doesn't give you anything, that's one of the worst days for me. But let's see what the sheep have decided. The most selected, Saliba is up there. Okay, not bad. Pedro Porro as well, I feel. Guardiola, I'm not so sure. Again, the objective is because of his rich vein of form in last season where he was scoring goals. I'm not sure if he starts that way, and I think Man City would be suspect to concede early on in the season. We know Man City are slow starters, but who will be my main defender? I think defenders, I am going to go a little bit cheaper. I'll maybe have one solid pick. But for me, we'll see. But one thing I can confirm is that I'm not doing Ben White and I'm not doing Trent. They're too expensive for me. I will have to get my points further up the pitch. Okay, defenders, I'll get back to you. I'm really not, my head is not in the right place to choose you yet. Let's go look at the midfielders. Toughest pick of them all. Advice, you need Palmer, you need Salah, you need Saka. Right? You need any of those three. Actually, I would say those are the most important three. I would also say De Bruyne is extremely important. I would go De Bruyne over Foden, especially if the price difference is not that much. I think De Bruyne is 10.5, but I don't know why he's actually not being selected the most. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. But they're actually the same price, Foden and De Bruyne. So Son is also maybe an important pick, but because Spurs form is up and down, I do not think he's essential. Essentials, Premier League essentials, Mo Salah, Palmer from last season, and Saka with De Bruyne as an alternative. You need either go two big midfielders and then one big striker, or go one big midfielder and go a lot of big strikers, depending on obviously what your formation will be. And in my draft, I've now initially chosen Cole Palmer and Salah, and I'm looking at the strikers, and I think it's obvious that Haaland is an easy choice. He's an easy pick. He's just the price of two players. That's the most irritating thing. He's literally the price of two players. If you sacrifice Haaland, then you can have a great rest of the team, right? But your tech can be a little bit weak. Then you'll be maybe forced to put in Nicholas Jackson and some of them. I mean, Jackson has some decent returns, but he's not very consistent and reliable. But you can have Isaac and Watkins and Tony as an option. I really not trusting Kai Havertz, sorry. But, that's what I mean. He's almost the price of two players, Haaland. He's definitely the price of two very decent midfielders. Anyway, let's look at what the sheep are saying. They're saying Alexander Isak and they're saying Haaland, and Ollie Watkins is in the mix. Some good options. I'm not sure about Watkins right now simply because of his fixtures. But one person that's going straight into my team, straight in the front, is Alexander Isak. I am definitely going Alexander Isak. Now, at that point, it looked like I had my base, my point getters, right? My make sures. the basis of my team. I thought that's where my idea is, but 35 minutes later, it was not make sure. So let's speed this up. So I went through my thinking process. I tried some autofill. Some things were not working. I checked the fixtures. I actually started looking at game week 1, 2, and 3. I even went to see the preseason form of some of these teams, the lineups that they were using on SofaScore. There's me doing my research, putting in the work. Your boy was at it. Your boy was fully at it. I was checking who's most likely to start, maybe just trying to see also the injuries, who's getting minutes, especially from my star players. And then I came up with a decision. That I'm going to leave one of the big names out, or some of the big names out, and I will not follow their sheep. I mean, you gotta have some differentials. This is your team. Make your team according to your knowledge, according to the players that you like and you trust, right? I mean, I'm very big on not following the sheep. Just because someone is most selected doesn't mean you need them in your team. The only strategic move is that because everyone has them, you can have them, because if you know if they're making points, you making points as well. But if they're not making points, you also not making points. So either way, it's a win-win and a lose-lose for everyone. Maybe that's the strategy behind it. But now I am not doing that. I will take the players that I trust. I will try to strike a balance, and I'll definitely have my own personal picks and my own differentials in the team. And this is what I came up with. Fast forward to the end, and it looks like this. That's what I thought. Actually, hold on. That's what I thought. I had Haaland out and I had Palmer out. But not sure. Let's see. Now, my final team as it stands at this very moment, it's still the morning, so I'm probably still going to change it. You know how it is with us managers. We're going to make last minute changes. This is how it looks like right now. So I went with a few Man United players simply because of their favorable fixtures. Their home game, I have both Garnacho and Bruno Fernandes, and obviously Diego Dallo. I just think maybe there'll be goals there. I think Man United will have a good start, but the Brighton game will be a risk. I'm not so sure now. I'm probably going to have to change one of them. But for now, for the first game, they look good. And then I have Haaland as my main striker with Isak and Tony. So I went with 3 big strikers because I want my points mainly coming from them. My differentials are Anthony Gordon and Daniel Kulusevski. I also like having the idea of a Spurs player because they play last. And I would want something on a Monday that can help me, climb the league, the table. So the points can rise if Kulusevski performs. They're playing Leicester and he is a starter, that's for sure, Kulusevski. I'm happy. My main defender is Gabriel, and obviously my keeper, I did say a long time ago, is Nick Pope, and it will not change. So that's my team at the moment. I would also say that I have a very good bench. Flecken is a good option. Alanga off the bench is good, and I have Van der Ven, who will obviously start, but he's also one of those cheaper defenders that you can use to just fill up the team. But that's my team. It's looking good, and I have money in the bank still. Come on. And for my team name, I went with the Flying Dutchman. We obviously know the ship from Pirates of the Caribbean. W name. What do you think of it? How do you rate it? I don't have Salah, I don't have Palmer, I don't have Song, I don't have Saka. Having no Arsenal really attacker might come back to bite me, but I'm just thinking the second game they play Villa away, and that might be very tough. So I don't know what you make of it, but right now that's my team. It's a comfortable good draft. I would say I'm now 80% done, and I will make like some tweaks. And captain, I'm obviously thinking Haaland. I think Cucurella, because he taunted Haaland. I think Haaland might just bag a hat trick, and we know Chelsea have been conceding like crazy in preseason, but it's a big game and anything can happen. City are slow starters. I'm not so sure. So maybe Isak might be my go-to, or even Bruno Fernandes, simply because he might be on penalties and they're playing Fulham at home. So some good picks. I don't know what you think. I'll still obviously be tweaking, and then I'll come back with a review of match week 1 next week. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please, if you've made it to the end of this video, please join our fantasy league group. I will put the code here. I've already made a community post on it on my channel. You can even click the link to auto join, but this is our league. This is the group. I mean, the group is slowly coming through. There's a few of us there already. There's some good names, actually. Let me just highlight a few of my favorite names besides the Flying Dutchman, since I can't vote for myself. There's a few good ones. I'm not gonna lie, not like us. We are monitoring you, my boy. You better win this thing. You better win this thing, or else we're calling you out. Chakalaka's good. It's a player on his own name, so that's pretty good. But this one is really good. Gross salary. Come on. That is proper. Shout out, Gabelo. That's a proper creative name. But the best one for me has to go to this. Murder on Zidane's floor. Come on, that is top tier, elite FPL names of all time. That goes down as elite. Top 5 of all time, surely. Mr. Rahman, so far I'm giving you the lead. You're in the lead for the best name, and obviously more people are joining. I will actually do a top 3 at the end of game week 1 and when everyone has registered. But thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you struggled too. We know it's gonna be a very interesting FPL season. Yeah, please subscribe and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye. And Jesus, I've just had a look, and since I started making this video and looking at the new entries now, there's a lot more. I mean, I also have some loyal subscribers that will probably see my post and join. Yeah, to my new followers, welcome. This will probably be my biggest league yet. Thank you so much for joining. Guys, please join. Do not miss out. The deadline is actually tonight at 7:30. So please make sure you join.